Government Institution Pensions Fund, GIPF, recently announced its readiness to roll out its pension-backed home loan scheme, a milestone initiative that has been years in the making. First conceptualized in 2016 and approved through various regulatory channels by 2018, this scheme will allow GIPF members to leverage their pension saving as collateral towards acquiring a home, a significant stride in addressing housing affordability and accessibility. Joining us in studio this morning to unpack the details of this scheme, what it means for active members of the fund and how it will be administered moving forward is Edwin Tjiramba, who's the General Manager for Marketing and Stakeholder Engagement, the GIPF. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for making time to speak to us.
Good morning, Lord, and thanks for having me.
Okay. Just to start off, perhaps in terms of this journey of the pension-backed home loan scheme, from the initial conception in 2016 as of to where we are, and for those that are watching, what exactly is this pension-backed home scheme, and how does it possibly differ from the traditional home loan financing options that are available in the market, and why specifically GIPF decided to endeavor in this activity?
Thank you very much for that question. I think to really unpack what the scheme is and how it differs from the traditional schemes is, I think it's having to look at the keywords that the scheme is supposed to be doing. In traditional terms, or what is financed through other normal commercial banks is what we call a mortgage-backed scheme, where basically the house or the bond that is registered over the property you acquire serves as the guarantee to the financing institution in case of a default. Now, in terms of the pension-backed home loan, your pension, is a portion of your pension is backing you up, is the guarantee for the loan. So there is no mortgage or there is no bond that is registered over the property. The property really becomes yours, and your pension is what guarantees in case of a default. And in so doing, the fund in rolling out this plan will have to make sure that there are mechanisms put in place to be able to back that or to help a member not really to be in default over the scheme. Though the scheme was really conceptualized prior to 2016, 2016, that's when the GIPF board approved that there should be a rule amendment to enable the fund in its rules as per the Pension Fund Act to allow for a pension-backed home loan scheme. So such approval was then done in 2018 by the OPM and also our regulator, which is NAMFISA, paving the way for us to have established a fund now in 2021. And then preceding that was definitely, after that was making sure all the modalities are put in place for the scheme to actually work. Most importantly, what was our members, what they were really interested in is having to have a very favorable interest rate, because it is a loan, and it is a loan that has to be repaid back. And when I say it is a loan that has to be repaid back, it's not to any administrator, it's not to anybody else, but to the pool of funds that are owned by the members. And why do we, the question everybody is asking is, but why do I have to repay against my own pension?
Why not just leverage my own pension? If my pension stands at 3 million and I want a property worth 1.8 million, why not just use my pension to pay off that property at once?
And this is the reason. The reason is, let's say you have a pension savings, what we call either your withdrawal or your transfer benefit of a 3 million. And as per the scheme, you are able to borrow up to a third of that, which means 33%, translating to about a little bit over $1 million. So that is the capital you are borrowing against yourself. And me and you know very well that if I have a $20 today, I go to the supermarket, I buy bread, a little bit of change, and I have the same $20 next year, same time. It will not buy me the same basket of groceries. And why? Because of inflation, because of other things. So you having to repay at a variable rate, interest rate, not only is it the law that dictates so, but it is also to protect your own capital. Because what we want to see happen is by the time, let's say you are 40, you borrow now the 1 million. In 20 years, when you retire, we want to make sure that you have been restored to the original position you were in had you not borrowed. That means you should still get your 1/3 lump sum, tax-free, and then the rest of the remaining 2/3 is what buys you a pension with GIPF for life. So basically, the overriding reason really here is for our members to have a roof over their head while they are working, and come the time of retirement, they have still a savings that has not been touched, and they are able to do that what they would like, either start a new business or reinvest or do whatever, because as you know, anybody's pension income is always reduced by the time you are on retirement.
Now, we know, obviously, what I'm getting is that is to protect members' retirement funds, but maybe perhaps the other question is the interest rate for the scheme is pegged at repo rate plus 2.5%. How competitive is this in today's climate, and what factors, influence this rate? And the other financial institutions saying, hey, perhaps you're undermining our role in the market since you are charging less as compared to what is in the industry.
It is an interest rate that I think, and we have to give a lot of credit to our government for having considered this request to have a favorable interest rate for the pension back home loan. So that it just enables our members for us to have a greater uptake on the scheme. And when you look at the current repo rate is standing at 6.75 plus the 2.5, that means our members are getting a very, very favorable rate of about 9.25 compared to the prime lending rate, which I think is standing at about 11%, and also the average home mortgage rates, which are a little bit over that. And that depends on, how healthy your pay slips look like for you to be able to negotiate better with your financing institution. So our members are getting interest rates on average, which is 2% below what they would have gotten had they gone commercially. So that is the one thing that we say this scheme is favorable. And on top of the fact that it is a favorable interest rate, variable definitely, is the fact that our members are also now able to, for the first time, build in an unproclaimed area. Meaning a GIPF member who is an active member working can build a comfortable home in their original villages where they will one day retire to.
So if I'm from Kachina Kachi or Chombindel, Fakhras, I can go and build it?
You can build. You can build that house that is with broken brick and mortar, and then maybe electricity. And that is the type of life we want our members to retire to. So in itself, that I think is also going to change quite significantly the look and feel of our villages, because we are looking at a fund that has over 100,000 members all over the country, residing, coming from every single corner of the Republic. So that's why we are saying this initiative is really needle moving, and it is going to transform this country.
Okay. Now, we understand that two service providers, this First Capital Housing Scheme as well as Koleni Financial Services, which is a subsidiary of GIPF, have been identified to administer the scheme. What exactly are their roles with regards to this back housing scheme, and why were they selected?
Okay, why were they selected is the fund has over its, as a pension administrator over the last 30 years, we have garnished enough expertise in being able to administer pension. In the fact, the way we collect from our active members, in the way we disperse benefits to our retired members, spousal and children annuitants, to the fact that even if you put in a funeral claim today at the GIPF in the morning, all things being equal, everything having been submitted, you are able to get your funeral benefit later that same afternoon. When it comes to death claims, if all paperwork are in place, we are now able to do a pension claim or a death claim within 2 months or a month even, sometimes at the shortest. So we have that expertise. The fund is also not very shy of knowing when we do not have the capacity or the expertise to do a certain product. And the home loan is just one such a thing that we said, let's go to the market. We went through a very extensive request for proposal from all commercial banks, from all institutions that we know are playing in that field of pension back home loan. So, and there was quite a great interest of individuals and institutions that came forward. And then these applications then had to be competitively looked at by our board. And at the end, these two service providers were identified for the pilot phase of us now rolling it out. The fund has committed about 900 million for this first phase that will be administered by these two administrators. Our members do not really have to worry about why the two administrators, what does this erode their fund, because the administrator's fee to be charged to be paid to this administrator is going to be borne by the fund. It's not from the members' portion of what they would want to borrow. And to that extent, the fund is also saying we are keeping a very open mind to see what will be the uptake, what will be the challenges that we'll have. Do we have to get more role players on board? Do we in future have our own internal capacity to do this ourselves? But for starters, we want to do the scheme right. We want to make sure all our ducks are in a row, and then we are ready to roll out once a green light is given.
Okay. Now, as we conclude this engagement, we already talked about the fact that one is able to perhaps, modify their home or build, in an unclaimed area, for example. Maybe just briefly, as we conclude, that what are the kind of properties that members are able to buy, and specifically, what are they not able to buy with these funds? We did see your CEO talking about that one, for instance, is not allowed to fund their wedding with this money coming from your pension fund. We have seen an article and people talking about the cost of weddings. And lastly, also, what are the next steps, especially for those active GIPF members? When can they officially apply? Where should the interested individuals go for more information, for pre-inquiries, before you officially roll it out?
Thank you very much for that, Lot. What we will be funding, what the scheme is for immovable property. A type of property that does not have four wheels. That is not a Land Cruiser. That is not an Isuzu for my people. So we are talking about either having to buy an existing home, to build a new place, to renovate an existing place, or to buy an erven on which you will build a permanent home, and or to pay off a mortgage that you currently have with another institution. So this is what we are talking about, immovable property. So we are not we are not funding any other thing. No cattle, no vehicles, no. If we fund something in the house, it is something that is already part of the house, like a built-in stove, not a fridge. Yeah, so these are the type of things. And there will be quite an extensive list of the do's and don'ts about the scheme that will be on our website, and that we are also now doing in all these engagements, like the great conversation I'm now having with you, this great opportunity, so that our members, by the time we roll out, they really know what and what not to do. Where will they start? All applications will commence at the office of the respective employers. Meaning, if I'm in education, I'm a teacher, I will have to go to my HR officer within my ministry. The same goes for health, the same goes for the Namibian police, the Defence Force, and all our participating employers. These applications will definitely have to have all the requisite documents of what will be needed to know that you are the member. But our members are also now being urged to already familiarize themselves with their benefit statements, where they either write an email to the fund to request for a benefit statement, or they can go to our self-serving portal on the website, self-register, and able to view and print their income statements as much as they want to. And then that will then have to see, you look at that section that says withdrawal or transfer benefit. And it is from that benefit that you are supposed to calculate your 1/3. And you may borrow up to that. The minimum you may borrow is 5,000, but you can borrow up to that maximum. And the longer you repay, and you have to also consider the time you have left to retirement. That will be the period. So basically, the period is 20 years or 240 installments or whatever is shorter towards that retirement. What is left for us to roll this out? Everything has been done. We have also seen the pronouncement by our Honorable Minister of Finance that the scheme is ready to go. But we now await signing official MOA or Memorandum of Agreement with our Right Honorable Dr. Ngurare, who is our Prime Minister. And then that will pave the way for us now to engage these two administrators by signing the requisite service level agreements. And from the date of signing with the Prime Minister, the fund will give itself 3 months to make sure our administrators are onboarded, our systems are ready, and then we are ready to go. So that once we start, we don't have glitches. So that is the time frame we will be putting up. But in the meantime, our regular information sessions will continue. I can already even inform our active members in the Erongo region at the coast, Walvis Bay and Swakopmund, that on this Wednesday at 5:30, we will be having an information session to the public and to our active members at a venue that we will announce today. And also on Thursday, we will have such a similar engagement with our active members in Swakopmund. We are doing this after hours, after work, so that at least it allows everybody who is an active member of the GIPF, that is civil servants, people who work for the regional councils, and also state-owned enterprises who are members of the fund, to come and listen to the CEO, to hear, to ask all the questions that are pertinent, so that by the time we are ready to roll out the fund or the scheme, everybody is on board.
Well, Edwin Tjiramba, thank you so much for making time to speak to us on this important matter today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Now, that was Edwin Tjiramba, who is the General Manager for Marketing and Stakeholder Engagement at GIPF, talking to us about the pension-backed home loan scheme, also indicating that this coming Wednesday as well as Thursday in both Walvis Bay and Swakopmund, they will have an engagement for those stakeholders or members of the GIPF pension fund who would like to seek more information, also indicating that phase 1 has got 900 million ready for fund pension members to be able to access. And remember, it's only for immovable properties. Please, you can't buy a kettle, you can't buy a Land Cruiser, specifically only buying a house, be it buying an existing one, that is obviously renovating an existing one, or paying off your mortgage, or simply buying an urban where you want to be able to build. The conditions are clear, but however, please do reach out to them should you require more information.